There's not much I can say about the first Critters that hasn't already been said. It still holds up remarkably well, and as I watched it again for the first time since seeing it opening night back in '86, all I could think was, yep, still great. The balance of humor and horror still works here, as the threat is real and the comedy isn't out of place. Plus we get to see Billy Zane with lots of hair get eaten by critters, and after which no one really cares that he's gone. If you've never seen Critters, you should really give it a try, and that's all I'm going to say about it. No, I'm not doing that this time. Stop it. Just stop. Stop. Okay. As sequels go, Critters 2 tries hard and succeeds at times, but when watching it back to back with the first film, it's clearly no match for the original. It tries to be bigger and do more than the first film, but doing so only exposes its flaws. From the get-go, it's immediately obvious that we're not in Kansas anymore. The shooting location of the film was moved from Kansas to a set in California, and that's made clear by the numerous mountain ranges visible in the background. Anyway, we're supposed to believe that this is still Grover's Bend, and 2 years have passed since the Critter incident. The Browns have moved away despite having their house rebuilt, but Bradley returns for Easter vacation to visit his grandmother. The eggs that were left behind in the chicken coop at the end of the first film have apparently moved to a barn and haven't hatched yet. But of course it's Easter, and well, you can see where this is going. But thankfully, Charlie and the bounty hunters are told to return to defeat the Critters once and for all. While the Critters have always primarily been puppets, in the first film the weaknesses of that were covered well. Here, though, there are moments where you can actually see the holes that have been cut into the walls for the puppeteers to work through. And rather jarring is the recasting of the sheriff's role, originally played by M. Emmett Walsh, but now played by Barry Corbin. He's fine, don't get me wrong, hell, I quote dialogue of his from War Games all the time, but he's not even close to being M. Emmett Walsh. His character wasn't essential to the storyline and could have easily been rewritten as some other character. The humor here is a lot more juvenile, too. The first film had some humor, but was otherwise pretty dark, and the Critters really didn't crack jokes or do a lot of wacky antics. Here they crack jokes and do wacky antics, which I feel diminishes them greatly as villains. In the end, Critters 2 is a watchable sequel, which is a rarity in the horror genre most of the time. Plus it features Eddie Deason, king of the nerds. But it pales in comparison to the first film, which as a result seems like the Citizen Kane of killer tumbleweed movies.
Cares of the past are behind. Nowhere to go but I'll find just where the trail will wind, drifting along with a tumbling tumbleweed. I know when night has gone